learn that Andrey Novashov, the first journalist to be convicted of spreading disinformation, is about to start 8 months corrective labour for spreading news, doing his job in Siberia. He was charged after he made an anti-war post on social media in March 2022. He pleaded not guilty, and he intends to appeal, but he is the first journalist to be charged and found guilty. As part of his sentence, he is forbidden from working as a journalist for a year. I presume that's a year after he is released. It's outrageous. Anyway, on the same day we've got that, we learn, we hear this extraordinary video from Sergei Lavrov in India, where he claims, unbelievably, that Russia entered the war with Ukraine to defend itself, and he turns it round completely. This is living in some sort of cloud cuckoo land. This is living in a fantasy world. The reality is Russia is the aggressor. Russia invaded a sovereign state, a neighboring state that had relied on Russia to defend it, and had surrendered its own missile protective scheme shortly after the USSR broke apart to Russia, on the condition that Russia would look after Ukraine. Russia has not only abandoned that pledge, but it has actively attacked Ukraine and scatters missiles around Ukraine, willy-nilly hitting civilian sites. And it dares to suggest, Lavrov, in his pompous way, dares to suggest, and looks really quite incredulous when the Indian audience, the audience in India, laughs. Thank God they laughed. Thank God they laughed. It's time for a little reality, because Lavrov is wrong, and what is happening across Russia is wrong, and the Kremlin needs to be brought up and needs to face the fact that it is moving down a path that's going to be very difficult to return from which it's going to be very difficult to return. And I don't think Lavrov is a stupid man at all. So I think this is an extraordinary statement. Please watch it. I've got it here.
Can you repeat this?
Acoustics. How has the war in Russia, how has this war affected Russia's energy interests? Energy. Is it pivoting towards Asia? And is it the deepening relationship about gas into India and all that she's asking about?
The war which we are trying to stop and which was launched against us using Ukrainian people, of course, it influenced the policy of Russia, including energy policy, and the blunt way to describe what is the change, what changed, we would not anymore rely on any partners in the West. We would not allow them to blow the pipelines again. By the way, we asked for investigation, and immediately this investigation request was denied. The Americans called it a nonsense, and when Seymour Hersh published his findings, you saw what the reaction of Europeans.
I think there has been some uncertainty about who blew the pipeline. But now I think it is very clear. It was done by Russia. Here we have two lies in succession linked. We know the first one is a lie, and I think the link of the two suggests the second one is a lie as well. So the idea that Russia started this war is incontrovertibly true. Lavrov denies it. Lavrov turns it round. Lavrov says that Russia was responding to a war. Extraordinary. And Lavrov then goes on to accuse others of destroying the pipeline. I can only assume that that is a lie in the same way, that he's turning around something that Russia has done and blaming someone else. Two lies with the same solution.